Welcome to At Home with Music. I'm Leon Olguin. Finger exercises are a necessary evil when it comes to learning keyboard. Every great keyboard player, every great pianist, has spent some time woodshedding. Now, in case you're not sure what this term woodshedding means, I'll take it straight from Wikipedia. Woodshedding, or some people just call it shedding, is a term commonly used to describe the act of practicing some endeavor, usually in private, to improve one's proficiency in performing it. It is typically used by musicians to mean rehearsing a difficult passage repeatedly until it can be performed flawlessly. The term is used metaphorically, where the woodshed means any private place to practice without being heard by someone else. It is well known among my fellow musicians that I do not let anyone hear me woodshed. No one has heard me practice in decades. In fact, my wife and I have been married for nearly 43 years, and she has never heard me woodshed, never heard me practice. I'd like to share with you a particular exercise that I learned. Well, actually, I learned it about 28 years ago. Now, over the years, I've learned that the fourth finger, that's your fourth finger, that is the quickest to weaken or slacken when you've been away from the piano. But your fourth finger will respond quickly when you use it along with your second finger. You see, your second and fourth fingers work kind of on an axis of their own, almost like a hand within a hand, especially when your hand rotates from side to side. This particular exercise provides your second and fourth fingers with a continual rotation over changing notes, starting from a full fourth between them. So we're stretching them out a little bit. And then it goes down to a third and a second. Anyway, what I'm going to do is switch to the overhead camera so you can see exactly what I'm doing. The movements required in this exercise may feel strange at first, so I encourage you, take your time. Pause the video if you need to in order to learn these particular exercises, and I believe that you will find them quite helpful. So let's switch to the overhead camera. So let's take a look at the various patterns that we're going to use in this exercise using 2 and 4 working together. Here's the first pattern. So notice there's a stretch between 2 and 4 of a fourth. Between fingers 2 and 4, you have a fourth. And then in the next repetition, in the next pattern, that fourth relaxes down to a third. And then repeating the same fingering, we use 2 and 4 very close together, like a center pole for the tent of the hand, as it were. And then we end up on this D instead of going back to the C, and that puts us in position to play all 3 of these patterns together, one step higher. So I'm going to play through the first few steps so that you can get an idea of how this connects. And then you'll be able to work on it on your own, work your way all the way up, both hands up 1 octave. So the first few repetitions will look like this. You can follow along and I'll play it very slowly. Here we go. And then the second pattern, and the third. And now we're in position to play it in this version here on the second step of the scale. A little bit of a rotation there. And so on. And then you'll eventually wind up here. Now, we can play the reverse of this pattern, going down one octave. And it'll sound like this. Now we're in position to play it a step lower. And we continue working our way down an octave until we get here. So if you work your way through these patterns, using these different patterns that are emphasizing the work of your second and fourth fingers, going up an octave, coming down an octave, well, by this time, your fourth fingers are going to be wide awake. So we have a couple of more variations of this exercise that will give your fourth and second fingers even a little bit more work to do. And a little bit more practice with this little bit of rotation. Now I'm emphasizing it here a little bit too much, but you get the idea. So here's the next variation. That's the first pattern. Rotation. Pattern number 2, there's not quite as big a stretch between 2 and 4. And then here. One thing you can do when you're playing this particular version is to play the first 4 notes pretty strong and legato, and then very quietly, and then stronger, a little bit quieter with a little rotation. And now you're in position to play it a step higher. And once again, work your way up an octave. And then finally, we can even add more. We can turn those sixteenths into triplets, and it'll look like this. And the pattern repeats. And so on. So I think you get the basic idea. Some of these positions that your hands take as you play these exercises might feel a little bit awkward, but stick with it, and you will begin to notice the benefits, especially for your fourth finger, which is always the weakest one, always the one that tends to cause us a little bit of trouble. And I must say that as I've been working through these exercises, just demonstrating them for you, I can feel the difference. I hope you have found this helpful. Once again, these technical exercises may be a necessary evil in some ways, but I guarantee you, if you stick with it, take it slow, and don't stress over it, and also don't stress your fingers. There's no pain involved in doing these exercises. You will see the benefits. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comment section. I make every effort to answer every question and respond to every comment. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. That helps the channel a lot. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.